Welcome to the Echo Sportscast, the 2-4 version.
I'm Paul McLean.
And I'm Dave Dale. We got, there's no lack of sports this week, so let's get at her.
The NDA hockey champions hoisted the Nugget Shield last night at the West Ferris Arena, and we've been on top of the playoffs that forced the third game final between St. Joseph's Scollard Hall Bears and Chippewa Ravens.
Including a timely 4-goal effort by the Bears star Seth Graubacher, the NDA's 2025 regular season scoring champion.
And if you missed it, don't worry, the puck action continues on Monday with the NDA hosting NOSSA for the top Sudbury and Soo teams in the Bay.
In the gym, the Bears senior girls volleyball team claimed the 2025 banner after a solid 4-game win over Chippewa on Tuesday night on their home court. We have interviews with the head coach and captain.
And meanwhile, if you've been paying attention to the boys' basketball action, Chippewa got its revenge over the West Ferris Trojans for eliminating them from NDA glory, beating their nemesis in the NOSSA semifinal last weekend.
Unfortunately, the Ravens came up against a powerhouse Llewellyn club, and they're a treat to watch. They had to settle for silver because Llewellyn decided to stay in the AA. They're off to the AAA in Kingston next week.
And the Trojans got another chance to shoot for gold next week as they host the AA OFSA Boys Basketball Championships, although they'll be up against a tough crowd, including that nasty good Llewellyn crew. We interviewed the West Ferris coach about the experience.
Our heritage moment actually this week turns out to be the video of Paul Follis presenting the NDA Boys Basketball Championship trophy named in the honor of his father, a championship Paul actually had the pleasure of winning 50 years ago.
Pretty amazing. For our spotlight interview, we've got a great conversation with North Bay police officer Russ Moyer and former OHL and professional hockey player, with a great chat about just what it's like policing in the community.
Yeah, and as for post-secondary varsity action, the Lakers women's hockey team is hosting the Queen Gales tonight at 7 p.m. It's game 2 of their quarterfinal for the OEA. They won the first contest in Kingston Wednesday afternoon. Game 3, if necessary, is Saturday, also at Memorial Gardens.
We've got a unique parent arm wrestling challenge from a minor hockey weekend that we can't wait to show you.
And there's a mixed martial arts gathering this Saturday at Action MMA downtown. Check it out.
But first, let's hear from our title sponsor, Source for Sports.
Sports aren't just what we do, they're who we are. Source for Sports North Bay is your advocate, your local support system, and your biggest fan. 1321 Fisher Street has grown from a place where knowledgeable experts can help you find exactly the gear you need, to the hotbed of team uniforms, apparel and fanwear, to a community stronghold for all the things that truly matter to you and your family's sports journey. We love helping you find your first pair of skates, as much as we relish supporting local leagues, teams, and athletes. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
The Scollard Hall Bears beat the Chippewa Ravens 5-4 in overtime to claim the Nugget Shield, the NDA championship for 2025. What an exciting game. Because the Ravens' lead goalie was suspended, they put in their backup, and the first 2 shots by the Bears went by the grade 10 Chemery, and it was looking pretty dim, but Chippewa didn't fold. They came back, tied the game, and they were actually leading at 3-2. Bears stormed back and forced overtime, and ended up getting the OT winner. Number 9, O'Shell, got a hat trick to put it into overtime. And the game winner was actually assisted by the scoring champion, Graubacher, and number 11, Gedance. He popped it in a really exciting fashion. There was a big celebration. The West Ferris was just packed. It was an excellent championship game. And kudos to everybody that played. Barry and net for the Bears was solid once again. Not as solid with his 5-0 shutout in game 2, but did the job. Scoring for the Ravens were a number of guys. The Ravens number 19, Casey, he scored 2 goals for them, and forced in the overtime was Gavin Thibodeau with a nice goal. The first goal was scored by Mr. Mason. Excellent competition between the two. Unfortunately, the game was marred by a very dangerous hit from behind that wasn't called, and put out Chippewa Ravens, knocked him clean out, and he had to go for a CAT scan actually at the hospital. It was a very dangerous hit, very dangerous situation that wasn't called as a hit. Actually, I saw a video on the Facebook. Somebody's Facebook was sharing, and I talked to the coach, Greg Richardson, about it. Clearly, it was a hit from behind, straight into the boards. Grayston Bradley was hit face first into the boards from behind, and there's no call. Not one of the three refs was actually in the zone. I know they had a tough time containing the heated competition that was going on there. They're doing their best. I understand that. But I think the NDA, and I'm going to say this right now, the NDA is going to need to adopt a video review system for supplemental discipline for when the refs aren't able to make the right call, because these players need to be taught what is safe and what isn't. I'm not sure how that would take place. They should have a video of the game to refer to that's an official NDA video. Or perhaps they need to have 4 refs out there, because I noticed that one of the guys with armbands was actually having to play double duty on the lines, which is why we didn't have a ref in that zone. So it's not necessarily their fault. We need 2 refs and 2 linesmen for NDA hockey, especially the playoffs. And I hope that's adopted. That's what I have to say about it anyways. It's an unfortunate situation. I hope the NDA can look at how they can solve this so that it's safer out there, and that the kids know that there's consequences for their hits even if the refs don't call them. Well, NDA hockey has been pretty cool. I've actually really enjoyed covering it at West Ferris Rink there the last couple of weeks.
It's been a lot of buzz too, and I'm seeing it in the store between kids coming in to grab new gear, get their stuff, or new sticks, breaking sticks, sharpening skates and stuff, and also I love just there was a
Chippewa slashing penalty that sold another stick for you last night.
Yeah, I remember them coming in. So yeah, so it's, it's intense, and there's lots of people talking about it. So it's great to have that kind of attention put on it and focus.
You bumped into a father of, and you saw a video that.
Father of Gavin and Gwen Gauthier showed me a video. We were away in Brantford for a hockey tournament. So it's an awesome video of Gavin kind of blowing up Carter. So it's a really great hit, but also just like the positivity around the podcast and thanking us for doing it. So I really appreciate that feedback, and we're going to keep trying to deliver it and grow this. So,
that's a much better video of that hit. I know in our last sportscast last week, I had my view of that hit.
Yeah.
But what was really cool is that in the second game, when they eliminated Algonquin, second or third game, Carter got back, and he actually had a beautiful old school hip check on that big McGill boy, and he put him down. Yeah. So I got that video too. So Carter's redeemed himself as far as Algonquin stuff goes.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and I mean it's a big hit, and but he gets right back up. So yeah, it's great to see. Like it's just, and that's again like the boys talking about playing in that tight box at Ferris. So it just kind of creates those opportunities and those moments.
Well, I missed a really good hit he was involved with too against the Bears last night or Wednesday night. I didn't get that one taped, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a nice compilation of all the hits this year.
Yeah.
I don't know whether any of those young guns that are doing the videos and know how to do the slow motion special effects put some kind of season wrap up. That'd be kind of cool to see.
I'll have to ask them for that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they might be out at the NOSSA championships Monday and Tuesday. That would be some good hockey. But I can't believe that we have the AA OFSA boys basketball, girls volleyball, and NOSSA hockey all in the same 3 days.
It is really busy. Yeah, I know. Just seeing some of the itinerary for what's going on with check-ins and the banquets and all that, it is going to be a busy weekend. And there will not be a spare hotel room in this town, that's for sure.
So you remember when we were talking about how Carter and those guys discussed the last couple of games weren't played and that had implications for the scoring race?
Yeah.
Well, when they were handing out the awards on Wednesday night, they mentioned the regular season scoring champion, Seth Graubacher. He ended up with the most points, but he probably had more games.
Yep.
Well, he scored 4 goals in a row. I mean, 3 goals in a row. And he pretty well put to rest any discussion about who's the scoring champion of the NDA this year.
It's a very big exclamation point on the end of the season when you can put 4 goals on. So, good for him. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was great to see a great player. And they also, it was good hockey. I think game 2 that forced game 3, that Barry goalie for the Bears, he was the first hockey player I interviewed at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a great glove. He looked sharp. Bears were dialed in. They were not going to let Chippewa had won the first game 4-2. And so they had their backs against the wall, and to come back with a 5-0. That was pretty interesting to see. It got pretty scrappy at the end.
Yeah. Oh, they're playing for real. Like, this is they're talking about it, and they're seeing everybody in the hallways at the rink. So it's going to be great.
I think Lazary was getting frustrated, of course, right? And I think he ended up leaving the ice a little early after.
Sometimes that's the best thing you can do as a coach for a goalie, even whether they want it or not, is give them a chance just to regroup and know that you got to live to fight another day.
Well, no, I almost took a guy's head off with a stick.
Well, in that case, that's
I don't think there was.
That's not for reset for another day.
Kudos to the refs for keeping at least a little bit of a lid on it. There was some action there. Well, they named the all-star teams, and this year they have 2.
Okay.
So I'm going to read them out. Well, actually, I have the video of them being announced, and so we'll just put their names in with that video. Great to see them out there being recognized for their dedication to the sport. So let's roll that, and here we go.
Goalie, Marcus Lazary, Chippewa. Dylan McFadden, École Secondaire Catholique Algonquin. Defenseman, Jackson Rive, Scollard. Pat Seguin, Scollard. Forwards, Jean-Félix Laferrière, Algonquin. Austin O'Shell, Scollard. And Hayden Casey, Chippewa. Our first team All-Stars. Goalie, Renan Bertoncello. On defense, Grayson Bradley and his partner Carter Thibodeau. Forwards, Seth Wildberger. Jacob Dustras, Algonquin. Gavin Thibodeau, Chippewa. And Charlie Haynes, St. Joe's Scollard Hall. This is your first team All-Star Selections 24-25 season. Congratulations, boys. And finally, we have the regular season championship trophy. This was one of the closest leagues we've had in probably close to 5, 6, 7 years. These 3 teams battled hard all season, playing each other several times. This year's champions after results in the regular season are the St. Joe's Scollard Hall Bears. Captains,
They also announced the trophy for the goalie tandem of the year, lowest goals against average, Scollard Bears, Brennan Bertoncello and Carson Berry is the tandem of the year. That's cool.
Congratulations, boys. Way to keep the puck out of the net.
So for NOSSA hockey on Monday, March 3rd, we have the girls hockey schedule as well. So we got Algonquin playing St. Joseph at 9 o'clock in the morning. The Sudbury and the Soo teams play at 10:45. St. Joseph Scollard Hall plays the Sioux team on 4 o'clock, and then the Sudbury team at 5:45 plays Algonquin. On Tuesday, March 4th, 9 o'clock in the morning, the Scollard plays the Sudbury team. Algonquin plays Sault Ste. Marie at 10:45, and the championship final is at 4 o'clock. All games are at Pete Pelangio. For the NOSSA boys hockey schedule, they're going to be at Memorial Gardens. And 9 o'clock first thing Monday morning, Chippewa plays Sudbury. And St. Joseph Scollard Hall plays Sault Ste. Marie at 10:45. 4:30 is the two out of town teams. 6:15 on Monday night, we have Chippewa and Scollard playing again. They must be going to be very familiar with each other after this NDA championship tournament. And on Tuesday, on the 4th, Chippewa plays Sault Ste. Marie at 9. Scollard Hall Bears playing Sudbury at 10:45. And the championship final is at 4 o'clock, Memorial Gardens on Tuesday, and be against first and second. Right on. So should be a good NOSSA. Well, girls senior volleyball NDA championships are finalized, and the St. Joseph Scollard Hall Bears, they were the big winners. They ended up being able to take out the Chippewa Ravens in the third game on Tuesday night. I was there. Great volleyball. Effort was excellent from both sides. Scollard was just the better team. They did win it in 4 games. And I got an interview with Sylvie, the coach, and the captain, and well spoken, but their season's over.
Yeah. Sad to come to an end, but
I think they got NOSSA silver in Sudbury the weekend before.
Okay.
So that put an end to it. But let's listen to the coach talk about the big win, and then the captain. Went 3 games with Chippewa. It was a nice tight match. What did you think of your win?
I love the hard-earned wins. Chippewa's a really talented, skilled team, and they have a lot of grade 12s, so this was a really fun 3-game match to play.
Now, for the season, was there any indication that it wasn't going to work out this way?
Always. Chippewa's always strong, and whenever we met them all season, they were really strong. So, yeah, that would be our toughest games whenever we played Chippewa. So there was no different here tonight.
Going forward, how's it going to go?
So we're losing 3 seniors this year, and so we have a lot of grade 11s that are sticking around, so hopefully that's good for the development of the senior girls next year.
You're not involved in anything else, or did you qualify for OFSA at all?
No, we unfortunately lost in the final at NOSSA, so this is the end of the road for us, so it's good for them that we ended on the win tonight.
How did that NOSSA final go? Who were you against, and how did the match go?
Yeah, so we played against St. Charles in the Sudbury region, and they were really strong. They had some really strong, talented players, and so it was, again, a really tough final. But, yeah, they came out victorious in that.
Some of your seniors this year, by name, tell me about how they contributed to the win.
Yeah, so the 3 seniors, we have Riley Argue, Olivia Mann-Carey, and then Peyton Wright. And all 3 of them had a lot of experience. We went to NOSSA last year in OFSA, so they know how to lead and get to that next level. So they were really great for the girls this year to be able to lead, be role models, and then guide them just to be good humans and really stay in the game on the court.
How does this NDA championship feel?
It feels honestly surreal right now. For us, that's going to be 4 years in a row. All my 4 years I've been at high school, so I honestly can't explain what I feel right now.
Tell me about the teammates that you enjoyed playing with this year.
All the girls were so fantastic. We had a bit of a hard time connecting at the start, coming from all different teams, but from the outcome of tonight, we all blended super well together. Our dynamic turned out really great, and I honestly can't imagine a season without them.
So this was a real tough final. You had to go 3 games. What was it like playing Chippewa to this final?
It has always been super tough. They're a great competitor, a lot of club players on that team, and I think it proves just how much good volleyball is in North Bay, and it proves a really good game for the watchers that come. So it's just great.
What are your academic goals going forward?
I'm taking the Bachelor of Nursing at Canada next year, and I'm playing on the women's volleyball team.
Well, excellent. Did they recruit you, or is that where you wanted to go?
They recruited me. Alice Champion recruited me back in November, and I signed. So.
Well, that's very exciting. Play post-secondary. They have a good organization there.
Oh, yeah, they have a fantastic organization. They brought in a couple new coaches the last couple of years, and the program's just gone up from there.
So the winning Scollard Bears girls senior volleyball championship team includes number 1, Savannah Anthony, 2, Riley Argue, 3, Olivia Mann-Carey, 4, Peyton Wright, 5, Emma Coolin, 6, Anna Riley, 7, Madison Gravel, 8, Wave LaFave, that's a nice name, 9, Ray Gould, 10, Gabby Kendall, 11, Tessa Caruso, 12, Emily Scott, 13, Olivia Lowe's, and 14, Kaylin Georgiev. Coaches are Sylvie Lapierre, Carly
Castiglione.
Thank you. And Abby Cruz. Well, the Chippewa boys basketball team seniors got their revenge over the West Ferris Trojans. West Ferris actually eliminated Chippewa from the NDA playoffs, and they had a matchup in the semifinal in the NOSSA tournament they just hosted.
Well, and I was following along. I was out of town, but Mike Mitchell was providing us both updates and stuff along the way. That was great.
Yeah, they were very happy to be able to get their revenge. And the big booby prize for winning that game, they had to play Llewellyn, and Chippewa was out of gas.
Well, and that Llewellyn school as well is heavily promoting, bringing people in. That's one of the schools back when we had Rachel on talking about the level of play, and so they've kind of accelerated. It's almost like having a basketball academy there. So you really are up against a really strong team.
Yeah, I was talking to Sean Madigan there on the sidelines, and he's giving me the layout. So, yeah, basically, and we'll be able to see Llewellyn and West Ferris in the AA OFSA next week, Monday to Wednesday. Llewellyn's second string would be tough competition for our basketball teams.
Mm-hmm. That's just where we're getting to. I know something that Nipissing will be allowed to announce soon. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, but I know the girls program's been able to attract a really strong player from Orangeville Prep, Avery Miller. She's going to be probably one of the biggest recruits that North Bay or Nipissing basketball has been able to bring in, and she comes from a program like that down there, which is also where Sean's daughter Fiona Madigan is playing. She's still got a couple of years left in Orangeville, or a year. And these programs have just developed into, for those looking for more, like they just really focus on it, and the results speak for themselves on the floor. Yeah.
Well, let's hear it from Dan Kutu of the West Ferris Trojans, coach. Dan, you guys had an excellent final game against Algonquin in their gym, and you won the NDA banner. Tell me about that game.
It was a pretty amazing game. Our kids fought really hard. We played against Algonquin a total of 6 times, and they've always been actually 2 of the games that we played against them weren't great for us, but any of the other games that we had, the victories were good victories for us for sure.
Yeah, the veterans that made that happen. Tell me about some of your strong players.
Well, like Wes Buell, of course, had an amazing game. Actually had an amazing series, to be honest with you. Rowan Wade did a great job for us as well. He had great secondary scoring for us as well. But in the final game, like in Game 3, Wes essentially really did take over for us. Like he was big time the difference maker. Nick Corbeil had a great series as well. He was pretty solid for us. And all around, like our team defense too was really, really good. In those 3 games, we managed to hold them to under 60 points in all 3 of those games, which is a testament to how we were committed on the defensive end.
Yeah, they were chanting Wes MVP there at the end of that game.
Well, what can I say? As far as I'm concerned, I think he is the MVP, and when it comes time for any of the voting, I'll certainly am going to be advocating for Wes. It's pretty hard to argue. Like he was definitely a difference maker in that series, and he's been our MVP all season long for sure.
Now we're at halftime here at the NOSSA final, and you guys aren't in it. What happened this morning against Chippewa?
Chippewa played a great game. They've been they had a great game against Core. They believe that they can win, and who's kidding who? In our league, we've had 4 teams that were battling all season long, right? So anybody can beat anybody at any given day, and today was their day. It was their day today, they did a great job. I find that those guys do a really great job. They're great guys and character guys, and they did a great job.
Now they're in it tough right now against Llewellyn. That looks like a stacked team there. It looks like they could play their second bench and still compete.
Yeah, we played them yesterday, and we were able to hang on with them for a little while. But they have great shooting, and they run the ball really well. They play a similar style to us, but they're definitely a little bit more efficient than what we are that way. And their shooting is, they have a lot of options out there, and really good guard play, and range. They have a lot of range out there too. So that's pretty hard to defend when they can shoot the ball like that and quickly.
Now, this is going to air on the Friday before you guys host the OFSA AA. How do you think that's going to go? I guess Chippewa is going to be in that as well, or?
No, Chippewa actually will be, well, I guess it all depends on what Llewellyn decides, but I'm going to assume that Llewellyn is going to declare AA, which means that the finalist would have to go AAA. So, and I'm not sure where AAA is, but Chippewa has indeed qualified for AAA OFSA.
And so what should we expect for you, the OFSA AA here in West Ferris?
Well, I mean, first of all, we're going to take a couple of days off. We're going to get some rest and, not even think about basketball for a couple of days. And then we'll start getting ready on Wednesday. We'll start going over some of our stuff. We'll have to see what the seating committee decides, for our seat. And it's, I know of a couple of teams that are in. I know Timmins High is supposed to be coming for sure. And I mean, they're always good. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're all Ontario. You qualify for this. There's going to be no slouches here for the week, and it's going to be very exciting. We're always very excited to host.
Thank you very much, and good luck in the OFSA AA.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, I met up with a couple old friends there at the McEwen Twigs yesterday, and that was pretty cool. The place is hopping.
It's always busy, whether you got students, working, studying away. I know lots of people like to just stop in, have a coffee meeting, and yeah, it's lots of action, lots of people you can run into.
There was a table of about 8 guys pontificating, I think, about all things politics. And we're recording this on Ontario Election Day, and I think Twigs has, if they recorded every conversation at their tables, I think we'd know exactly what's going on and how to fix it.
That's what we need to find a way to do, because we've got all of these unique coffee clubs across the town, and people like to meet, and yeah, that's where all the best minds meet.
I've never been at the Sturgeon Falls Twigs. Have you?
Stopped in on the way, out of town. I know there's one there, and then you've got one in Sudbury if you're ever on the road and you need Twigs outside of North Bay. The one in Sturgeon's beautiful. It's just over by the river in a great building. So it's definitely a nice place to stop.
Well, next time I will, because usually I'm just trying to get through there and make it home. But
So yeah, make sure you stop by Twigs for their fresh roasted coffee and their 5 great convenient locations. Twigs is something you can also take home with you. So be sure to stop in at Twigs and support our great sponsors.
Our interview with Russ Moyer, though, it worked out.
That was great. It was really, is a great hockey player, but when you start to hear about the tie into policing and the community involvement and even just how approachable I think the North Bay Police Department wants to be and to be seen. And I think for kids growing up today, they're seeing the police in a different light than probably you and I would have grown up, maybe being a little more fearful of the police.
Oh, yeah, I had lots to fear for, and they were big guys, and they weren't always in a good humor.
Yeah. So Russ it really had a lot of great stories to tell, and it was really good catching up with him. He was my neighbor, and but yeah, just a really great interview. So be sure to check out this snippet, and then if there's more.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel, the North Bay Echo. I want to hear about your European hockey experience.
It was pretty awesome, to be honest. Yeah, I was lucky.
Where did you play junior hockey and go from there?
So junior hockey, I first started Tier 2 hockey when I was 15, I think, with Sturgeon Falls Lynx.
Right.
Yeah. So I played there.
Who was your coach?
Mike Heafy. Okay, yeah. So he was, I think that would have been 97, 98, something like that. And then I moved down to Elmira Sugar King. So originally I was pretty small. I was a defenseman, but I was like 130 pounds. So it's like
mobile defenseman.
Yeah, but I was only 130 pounds, so I just kind of floated around. But me playing major junior wasn't really even a thought, just because of my size. It was like, well,
Sugar King's good. That's a good organization.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, maybe by the time I'm 18, 19, I'll be big enough. I'll go to the NCAA. So, had a good year there. I was 16. I was defense partners with Dennis Weidman, who was 15, and we were both really good that year. We did well, and we had a good team. And I got some attention from junior hockey from the OHL, and my one assistant coach was a scout with Ottawa 67s, and he basically said, You're going to play there next year. We got a spot for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they drafted me in the 6th round. I was rated around there. Probably I had a couple teams saying maybe a little earlier, but anyways, I got drafted the 6th round. Went there, had a good camp first 2 days, and I knew that back then it was like a strict 48-hour rule. And basically, I started packing my gear because it was done. I hadn't been told I was signed. I started packing my gear, and then I. Not that I was big, but I think I did well. I had a couple fights, and I fought a couple guys that were far bigger than me, and I did all right. Those are probably the only 2 fights that I did not lose my whole life. So, and then, I packed up my stuff. I started walking out, and Zen and Konopka was like, "What the hell are you doing?" So, I'm done. Like 40 hours, and then he left and went and spoke to Killer, and we were loading up the car, and Killer came up in the parking lot and was like, "You're not going anywhere." I was like, okay, and then when he says that, you're just like, okay, like NHL Hall of Famer and stuff. So,
elaborate a little bit on the coach.
Yeah, so Brian Kilray, I think he's still the winningest coach in CHL history. I have no clue, but
maybe Dale Hunter,
might have, but yes,
the most respected winningest coach.
Yeah. So, he was an amazing coach, like an amazing person. Like, he treated everybody with so much respect. He was like in his late 60s when I played with him or played for him. I say with him because that's how it felt. Like, I played for him, and like, even though I was 17, 18, 19, 20, I could approach with him and speak with him on the same level. It was different back then because it was like we'd have beer on the bus after. He'd come back. We'd have a couple of beers. He'd tell us stories. Like, and this is how different it was. Like, if we were on like nowadays, it's like basically pro hockey.
Yeah.
When we were on a 3 or 4 hour road trip to like Peterborough or Oshawa, we'd leave that day. I think now they'd probably leave the day before ours. So we'd go to school till noon. We'd show up at the rink, pack our bags, and on the bus would be KFC. That was the pregame meal on the bus to the game. A little different now. Him and his few other buddies.
If everybody does it, it's equal.
Yeah. So we had Killer and Bert O'Brien was a defense coach. They were like longtime buddies. They were smoking their cigars. They had another 3 or 4 buddies that were around the same age, guys they had grown up with in Ottawa. Like a guy named Stumpy Tank, and like these, it's hilarious. And they were just all smoking their cigars and cigarettes at the front of the bus while we're on our way to the game. And then after the game, they'd be doing the same, but just having some beers, and they'd come back and tell stories from the old days, and it was a great time. I mean, it helped because we won all the time. Like, we were 45, 50 wins a year, it seemed like. We were always at the top, always making playoff runs. So, like, in 4 years, I had curfew for, like, 3 nights. It was, I think we won, like, the first 14 games my very first year. We lost, like, the third of a 3-game road trip, 5 or 6-0, and we got curfew till that Thursday, and that was the only time we ever had curfew. We showed up. He treated us like men. Probably not the best thing though. Like, but we kept winning. We had great teams. We were best of friends. We'd win 2 or 3 games on a weekend, and we'd go have some beers on Sunday night.
Yeah,
and then rinse and repeat. That being said, the way things that were done there, it probably wasn't conducive. That's why we never produced. We had great teams, but we didn't produce a lot of NHLers. And we had some guys that should have been really good NHLers, but probably needed proper guidance, probably needed proper
different development system.
Yeah. Less freedom. Yeah. And guys that got into some trouble with some
an interesting point.
Substances and stuff, which in hindsight is sad. I think all of us, we had a ton of fun. I would not give up those 4 years for anything. But in hindsight, I probably would have given up that portion of it. Personally, I don't think it would have changed my career at all, my career path, because I was never the high prospect or anything like that. Like, my career path was pretty much probably as it should have been. But there's a couple guys who
had potential,
had a lot of potential. Like, my last year, we had Corey Locke, who ended up being a great American League player. Has nothing to do with substance abuse for him. That's where he was. He was not a big guy, but like, he had like 66 goals that year. Then we had Matt Foy. I don't know if that name means anything to you, but he had 64, 65 goals, had like 20 plus shorthanded goals. He was like 6'4" and 220 pounds. Like, but then turned professional, had a little bit more money, and
Bad habits.
that was basically his demise. Mm-hmm. It was very sad. There was a couple other guys. I could probably go on for a few more, but it's just, yeah. But that being said, we were kind of, not to swear, but we were the cat's ass of the OHL for 4 years. And they were for a couple years before me and a couple years after me. Like, they had an amazing run, and we just kept winning and having fun. So it was cool.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. Attention truck lovers. Have you been Tundra struck? The powerful and dependable Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit. Ask us about amazing lease deals on a 2025 Tundra Double Cap SR 4-wheel drive and experience ingenious levels of capability, technology, and refinement. Or maybe you're an SUV lover? Take advantage of a limited shipment of 2025 RAV4s and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and efficiency in a compact SUV that ignites your desire to explore. Right now, get excellent lease deals on the Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive and more. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
Well, I'm looking forward to Lakers women's hockey tonight against Queens Gales, second game of their quarterfinal. I watched the first one on the OUA TV.
Yep.
And the speed of the Lakers and their ability to break out is hard to defend against.
It was one of the rare 2 p.m. Wednesday starts for playoff hockey, but obviously just working in the schedule. But they, dominated the game. Dominated Mallory Dominico with 2 goals and a big 5-2 win. They come back to North Bay and hoping to close out Kingston and make it a quick move on to the next round.
The announcer for the game who's calling it, he made us look good as far as the way we chew words up and names up. Oh, yeah. I think he had Mallory as Domico.
Okay.
And then there was Looney. And it was, I was thinking every time he chewed a name up, I was like, you go for it, man. I know what you're feeling.
I've watched enough different OUA TV broadcasts from across, and from having the limited experience I have doing this, I have far more respect for how difficult it is, especially live in a game. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's easy to sometimes you just got to turn the volume down.
Well, the announcing was behind the play as well, about 4 seconds. Or ahead of it. So I was hearing about a goal that hadn't happened yet. So it was like, oh cool. Okay. And then I catch the action. So it's not too bad. It works out. What do you expect for free?
It's for free, so you're able to watch it. So, I mean, if you can't make it down to the Gardens, that game's going to be carried as well on OUA TV. Just sign up, and you can click and watch all of Nipissing's or any North Bay athletes that are playing in other OUA sports. Those games are on, so be sure to check it out. It's a great way to follow.
But come on down to Bort Longyear Memorial Gardens for 7 o'clock tonight, and if there's a third game required, 7 o'clock Saturday night too.
Let's go Lakers.
Have you ever been in an arm wrestling tournament?
I've never been in a tournament. I really kind of lack the pipes to do that, but I was a big fan of the movie Over the Top when I was a kid, so I love watching arm wrestling. I think it's amazing.
Well, we grew up arm wrestling in Cape Raw there, and me and the boys there, every party ended up being an arm wrestling tournament. I was pretty good at it for my weight class, for sure. Yeah. I wrecked a few shoulders. I had walked with a cane for so long when I was 20 that I had a really strong forearm and wrist. Yeah. So my right was deadly. I could hold a guy until he was done. I couldn't do anything further because I didn't have any other practice and strength there. But I used to be pretty good. I went to a bunch of the Luke Laporte tournaments here in town.
Okay, I do remember seeing stuff about that.
I brought Dylan to a couple of them too, right? So we did a father-son sort of try, and we both got little trophies. Actually, Dylan won his, and I got one gifted to me from Luke.
That's very thoughtful of him.
Yeah, so we have matching arm wrestling trophies. I arm wrestled George Burton at the Canada College in 1987 or 88. Might have been 88. In front of the whole school body. It was part of some type of pub that we were having.
Challenge,
so the cafeteria is just full, and there was George, and he was stocky, well built. Yeah, much more stronger than I am, but my upper body was a match.
Yep.
And it was for fun, but it was serious. It was like two of the staff members going at it.
Yeah.
We had a good time. I used to promote it in their little newsletter I did for out of the public affairs office.
Yeah.
And I could have beat him. But he kept slipping out. He's a slippery guy, right? He kept slipping out. There, he drove me nuts, George. We'll have to have a rematch someday.
I think we could arrange it, and I think I might know the people that are able to arrange it. Yeah. So,
although I'm about 50 pounds lighter now, so it's different.
Well, we'll see how that could go. We were away this weekend in Brantford for a tournament, and a bunch of North Bay teams actually down, and we were staying in hotels across the street from each other. So one night on the Friday, maybe after a couple beverages after games, some parents got into an idea of having a friendly arm wrestling match between parents from both teams.
That's my kind of fun. I like that.
So very quickly, a graphic was put out promoting it, and we did have hockey to play the next day. So the kids got through that, and then on to the main event. So we came back, and we were at the hotel, and we've got some great video to show. I just think it's hilarious. It's a bunch of parents and the kids having fun, getting excited, and watching it. And I got to say, the production value it got really strong between some of the commentary and the pregame, conversations and hypes. We really built it up. I think the live streaming audience of it got over 120 people or something while it was going, and people were texting and asking. So it was just a fun way to, add something different to, weekend after weekend in hotels. It was a lot of fun.
Well, that brings us to the physical contact, an actual competition. There's Action MMA's hosting the fights, not real competitive fights. They sort of, they just call them, demonstration matches, but the guys actually go at it pretty good. So there's some Action MMA there right beside Mr. Poncho's. It used to be the old Regis. Actually, I think the Nugget way back used to be out of that building as well.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very historic building. And Music City was upstairs after for many decades. So check that out. It's the only fight game in town, really. Yeah. And the kids work hard to get these matches, and it's very respectful. It's well done. Well, our heritage moment isn't exactly what I planned it to be, because I didn't get the in-depth investigative research done that's necessary to talk about the naming of all these trophies. But I went to the basketball championship, the final game at Algonquin with West Ferris winning the Fallis Trophy.
Yep.
And his son, Paul, was there making the presentation. And it was great to hear him talk about the importance of the senior basketball in high school. He actually won it 50 years ago.
That's a pretty amazing heritage moment to be able to come back and provide a trophy that you won 50 years on that has your family name. Yeah, that's
so
really ties off.
Let's hear right from Paul. This is right after the game, and then we'll have a little bit of talk about the actual clash between the Trojans and the Barons, and I got one little Tim Lowe story.
Okay.
A little history. This trophy is named after my late father, who died in the early 60s. And I have to congratulate both the Trojans and the Barons, because 50-some years ago I was in this gym playing you, the Barons, and in your gym playing you, the Trojans. And basketball has come a heck of a long way. And just my own little selfish moment, 50 years ago, I was receiving this trophy. So you will grow up to be half-decent people, I hope. Well, I know you will.
the game was intense. Like that gym was packed, right? Like there was standing room only along most of the side there. I barely had a spot over by the door. When the first quarter that I was there, I'm on my knees in that one spot in Algonquin. You have to come in from the back door.
So right? You see everybody going in to try to find the best seat, and the people that know not to go through the main office. So
yeah. Well, the doors are locked these days because of whatever.
Yeah.
So I ended up at halftime. I went to the a little bit more space in the regular entrance for the gym. So I'm standing beside Tim Lowe, right, and. It was pretty wild because Algonquin was up against the wall. West Ferris had a good lead in the fourth, but Algonquin was not giving up. They were kept trying. It was very intense. It was really good basketball the whole series. And it was funny. Tim was standing there, and of course he's kind of communicating with the coach now, and he's right engaged, right? But as they were trying to get the ball back and making fouls, and it was getting down to the wire, and Tim said something about, well, look at this. I'm gone just a year or two, and the place is falling apart. And I'm thinking he's talking about basketball.
Yeah.
But he points down to the floor and he shows me. He says, "See, this wouldn't happen if I was here." He looks down and there's like a hair. that was laminated over when they redid the floor.
Okay.
He says, when I was here, they cleaned the floor first, and that hair is going to be there for... And even while there's a half a minute left in the game.
And that's as focused as I was on, like, why can't this gym be more? I think that's one of those things that never leaves you when you're an athletic director and worrying about all those things, those details. It's all about the details. So.
And details in sports, and that's kind of cool. So it was a great championship to see. It was short-lived glory for West Ferris because their NOSSA didn't turn out, and now they're into it still for the OFSA, so it'd be interesting to see how they do. But they're in tough for AA provincial.
Yeah, so a lot of teams will be heading off to their OFSAs and NOSSAs, so we want to wish everyone good luck this weekend. Give it everything you got, and let's see what you can bring back to North Bay.
There you go.
So before we head off and call a close to episode 24, I'd like to show the video from this past weekend. Amazing arm wrestling match between Chris Murphy and Jeff Van Vliet. And I'm going to let the video speak for itself. There's some great commentary and interviews from Scotty Nichols. I think Adam Ross is working the camera. I was working the music, and lots of kids and parents just having a fun time. So have a look at this video and have a great weekend.
Well, don't forget to mention the silver medal in the final.
So there were 4 teams, I believe, down from the Junior Lakers in Brantford. So the U13A team, we picked up a silver, losing a tough one to London on Sunday, but it was a great tournament, worked really hard. There was a U13B team there, as well as the U15Bs, I think, who all had good moments throughout. Losing in shootout, I think the U15Bs to qualify to get into Sunday. So anyways, it was great action. Kids had a lot of fun. Beautiful arena in Brantford, 4-plex, packed the whole weekend. Just one of those things that maybe put on a soapbox here, but get some North Bay city councilors to come down and see what that actually looks like. And when you start seeing how many jackets are people from out of town, there's a reason why we build these things, or why we should build one.
Oh, cool. Maybe we'll have a big arm wrestling tournament at the 4-plex someday 20 years from now.
I would love nothing more than to see. I think parent arm wrestling should become a part of hockey tournaments in general, and we can try to seek out who the parent arm wrestling champion is every weekend. So who knows? We should maybe go down to a patent office and make sure nobody steals that idea.
Right on. Well, let's pump it up with an arm wrestling match.
A little over the top. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Live from Brantford, Ontario. That is right. You want to turn that down. Let's not go. Everybody, this is like, let's hear it.
Well, slippery.
Get a bunch of idiots. On my count, go 3, 2, 1, and it is a elimination. 1 Let's go. Hey, loose. And 3, 2, 1. Okay.